The first time it happened, it was an accident. Eli was standing in a crowded bus station, late again, watching people push past him like he was invisible. A woman cut in front of him without looking back. A man slammed into his shoulder and kept walking. The departure board flickered, and Eli knew he had missed the last bus. Something inside him just snapped. Not metaphorically, physically, his fingers made a sharp cracking sound, and the world stopped. The woman who cut him off froze mid-step. The man who slammed into him leaned forward, trapped forever in motion. A bus hung half-turned in the road, its exhaust frozen in the air like smoke trapped in glass. Even the noise was gone, no engines, no voices, no wind. But Eli's own breath came out way too loud in the sudden, deafening silence. He waved a hand in front of the woman's face. Nothing. He looked up. Rain hovered in the sky, each droplet unmoving. A bird floated above the road, wings stretched wide, refusing to fall. Eli staggered backward, his heart pounding. Then, without any warning, everything slammed back into motion. Noise rushed in. The rain fell. The bus lurched forward. People complained. They cursed. They moved on. No one noticed a thing, except Eli. That night, he had to try again. Standing alone in his dark room, heart racing, he snapped his fingers. Silence. The ceiling fan stopped mid-spin. Dust motes froze in the air, glittering like tiny stars. The digital clock on his wall paused between seconds. 10 seconds passed in his head. Then time returned. Eli laughed. It was a short, breathless laugh that turned into a full-body shake. At first, he used his new power carefully. He'd pause time to avoid accidents, to step out of the path of a speeding car, to cross busy roads without fear. 10 seconds was just enough to fix small problems. But each time he snapped his fingers, the pause lasted a little longer. 12 seconds, 15, 20. He tested it like a child testing furious, careful, and absolutely thrilled by the danger. One afternoon, he paused time inside a bank. 30 seconds. The guards were frozen. The cameras were frozen. Everyone's fear was frozen. He walked over to an open cash drawer, took a handful of bills, and snapped his fingers again. Nothing happened. No alarms, no chaos. Just a pocketful of money. That was the moment Eli stopped pretending he was a good person. The pauses stretched from seconds into minutes. 5 minutes of frozen reality felt like standing inside the corpse of the world. People were no longer people. They were statues, props, just furniture. Eli would walk among them. He adjusted their positions. He'd turn their faces towards him. He'd step close enough to feel their breath even, though it never came. They won't remember, he told himself over and over. But every time time restarted, something felt wrong. The air felt colder, sharper, like reality itself was irritated with him. People began complaining of headaches, of missing moments, of strange dreams where they were awake but completely unable to move. Eli ignored it all. He had never felt more powerful. Then something changed. Time began to hesitate. Even before Eli snapped his fingers, the world would stutter for a fraction of a second, almost like it was waiting for his permission. He snapped his fingers out of habit one day. Time froze instantly, but this pause felt different. It was heavy. The shadows on the ground stretched too far. The frozen faces around him looked tense, uncomfortable, as if somehow they were aware. Eli tried to restart time. He snapped. Nothing happened. He snapped again. Still nothing. Panic clawed at his chest. After what felt like hours trapped in that silent moment, time returned, but violently. People screamed. Cars crashed into each other. A man collapsed in the street, blood pouring from his nose. The news called it a mass neurological event. Eli didn't sleep for days. The next pause lasted an hour. Eli wandered the empty, silent city alone. He screamed until his throat was raw. No echo answered. He ran through streets filled with frozen people, frozen car accidents, frozen deaths that hadn't even happened yet. When time finally returned, his own apartment felt unfamiliar. The mirrors felt wrong. His reflection in the glass lagged just slightly behind his movements. He noticed animals started avoiding him completely. Time wasn't following him anymore. It felt like it was running from him. One night, time stopped without any warning. No snap, no sound, just a sudden, absolute silence. Eli was trapped. He ran until his legs burned. He begged the frozen strangers on the street for help. He pounded on walls that would never hear him. Days passed, or maybe it was weeks. The sun didn't move. The food in his fridge didn't rot. Eli didn't age. He finally understood. Time wasn't stopping. It was leaving him behind, and he wasn't invited to come along. Eventually, Eli stopped screaming. He just sat on a park bench among the frozen people and studied their faces. He thought about every second he had stolen, every line he had crossed. The power had felt like freedom, but all it brought him was isolation. This was his punishment. Then he noticed something else. In the absolute stillness, there were sounds, soft ones, whispers. They weren't coming from the people. They were coming from the space between moments. Time was not empty. It was alive, and it was watching him. When the world finally moved again, no one remembered Eli. Not his name, not his face, not his existence. All records of him erased themselves. Photos and security cameras showed empty spaces where he once stood. It was as if he had never existed at all. But Eli still did. And now comes the terrible truth. Eli didn't disappear. He was trapped between seconds, forever conscious, forever alone, unable to move forward, unable to die. Every time you feel a brief, strange pause in a crowded place, every time reality seems to hesitate for no reason, Every time the world just feels slightly off, that's Eli, still holding time apart, so the rest of us can keep moving. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more. We'll see you in the next one.